Hi, nice to meet you. If you came over from IG, social media, YouTube, welcome back. As you may or may not know, I am a growth strategist. And I've been in this game for quite some time. It's been a lot of fun. I've been helping some of the fastest growing companies in the last 7 years in a row. I have been in a lot longer, but I hit this really awesome growth spurt about 7 years ago and have been riding that wave ever since. And another pivot, which actually brings me a little bit to why we're doing this video, is I was recently featured in Market Watch and a few other publications, specifically touching on how I went from working 65 hours a week, barely seeing my kid, to working a lot less. And I don't know about you, I enjoy my free time. So what this video is going to be touching on, right? How often, and if you hear, does apply, how often do you think, Jesus fucking Christ, I just want to scale my business, I want to scale my career, why do I keep getting stuck? And that's what I hope to help you accomplish in seeing a substantial increase in terms of where to go, why am I doing what I'm doing, onward and onward. Now, the thing is that the average person spends way too much time, way too much energy, and unfortunately, resources, working on the wrong things. It's very unfortunate, of course. And of course, busy being busy, not productive. If you've ever seen my IG, you see how often I'm like, no, team no sleep is not a thing. Please stop that. Shiny object syndrome. It's like, picture a kid being rolled down the supermarket and everything that's shiny they grab. And unfortunately, when you're coming from fear, scarcity, you're broke, etc., you fall into this trap. It's very, very normal. But the good thing is, once you identify it, you can actually fix it fairly quickly and fairly easily. And of course, a lot of people will downplay the strengths. I can't tell you how many times I've talked to somebody and they're telling me about like, this old thing. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. You're sitting on a treasure trove. And I love discovering that with them. So part of how this whole thing came about, is check this out. After talking to several companies that I've worked with, that I've talked to, etc., I found out that 81% expressed feeling stuck with their execution. That literally means that they have an idea of what they want to do. They just don't really know where to start. And that's a common thing that I will hear a lot. I just don't know where to start. 74% had extreme trouble going past their initial start. Right? And that's really debilitating. It's really annoying. And frankly, kind of demoralizing. I mean, I've talked to several people that it literally hits them where it hurts. They start to get a little depressed. And really, the biggest reason what pushed me to go from speaking on a stage or in front of a team at a company, yada yada, to doing this more online is a whopping 94% struggled with confusion as to what they were missing. Imagine you're in your prime suit, you're killing it all day long, cloud nine, you're feeling amazing, and you're sitting at dinner at the end of the day, and you realize you've had spinach in your teeth all day long. Anywho, and it's a really shitty feeling. So, when it came to businesses, really, but of course, this also applies to career, and you're going to see why. This was the nitty gritty, what it all came down to. This is what everyone had in common. And by the way, in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you what I like to call a breakthrough starter kit, which is comprised of a SWOT analysis, an annual audit, and a branding standard that I put together based on 10 years of doing what I do. And I'm also going to be going through it with you. So, by the way, you can screenshot all this stuff. You can pause and come back. Why am I doing this? And I actually did not realize that I had to answer this until the other day when somebody asked me, like, well, why are you doing this? What do you get out of it? Well, here's exactly what I get out of it. I have been at the bottom, I've been at the top, I've been in the middle, and along the way I've met some amazing people. I've met some amazing companies, the people in this company specifically. And I don't know about you, but it's more common than I really realized. How many times I'll meet someone that has amazing talent, intelligence, but they're not super successful. Or I'll meet companies that have an amazing product. And I'm sitting there like, why is this not bigger? Why is this not all across the country? Why don't more people know this? But I'm pretty sure that you can think of several things on the market right now that are very, very big that are not really all that. Well, my mission is literally to fight those shitty companies with their shittier products, and I love to do that by empowering the talented who do have something of better quality, something better to offer the market, to offer your customers. And I want to help push you to the front of the industry and stay there. And what do I get out of that? Let's be honest with one another. If you put out better products and or services, we all benefit. Because I don't know about you, I want to drive a safer car, a car that's more fun. I want to live in nicer neighborhoods. I want to live in nicer homes. I want to wear better clothes that's actually going to last. I want to eat better food that's not bad for me. You get it, right? So that's where we're going with this. So let's move along. As you watch this, I want you to really, really, really not just watch this and pat yourself on the back. Just keep moving. Because unfortunately, that's a huge problem. People will just binge information and rarely ever act on it. No, I want you to carpe articulum, which is Latin for seize the moment. Okay? As we move along, big premise. Your emotions control your fate. Your emotions control what happens to you. Frankly, the reason you're stuck comes down to emotions. And they're controlled by one of two things: circumstances or character. All right? So I'm a huge believer in the mantra of how you do anything is how you do everything. And if you focus on developing your character, boy, will you thank yourself later. Because the circumstances won't matter. I'm pretty sure you've seen many a success story, and it's like crazy adversity, and you're like, whoa, that's amazing, that's inspiring. Well, the thing is that their character, they really, really buckle down and build their character, whether knowingly or unknowingly. Now, emotions where it starts, execution's where it stalls, etc. And based on execution, it really comes down to what you build. And what you build is a model. And the real problem is that a lot of people run based on the old model. And I won't lie to you. I love the old model. Frankly, it makes my job easier. It makes my client's job easier. Because the more complacent a company is, the easier it is for my clients to come in there and just fucking lap them. Sorry. It's fucked up, but it's true. But let me give you a real life example. A few years ago, I was unfortunately made aware that someone my family cared about passed away, right? And he was the owner of a great pizzeria in New York, and he died and he left this to his children. The thing, though, is that his kids had never really had to work a day in their life. They thought, this is easy, it's a pizzeria. I mean, cash flow is great. Dad left us this, Dad left us that, we're fine. We'll be fine. So what happens? They splurge, they run through the inheritance, they run through the credit cards, they rack up massive bills. You see where that's going, right? And because they had never really had to work a day in their life, they didn't know how to run a business. So they weren't minding their business. Lo and behold, business dries up. And one day, during a holiday get-together, they pull me aside. And my friends call me Carlito. So, Carlito, please, you gotta help us, man. We fucked up big. We're in debt. But again, my ties to them, I get all nostalgic. And instead of just saying, fine, I'll come and help, no, I go ahead and you write a check. and it's just to show you that none of us are impervious. But I'm nostalgic and I buy in. And I immediately get to work. Once I sign that check, it's like the emotions have left, because then I'm in full-on work mode. And I'm auditing it from top to bottom, and I'm mapping out changes. And they're looking at me. And all of a sudden, I go from Carlito to, no, you're not going to do that. That's not how Dad did it, yada, yada, yada. The thing is that, well, you're not even doing it how your dad did it. So I immediately sit there and negotiate with them. And I clean house. And I remove them from the equation. So, after much deliberation, they're in the equation. I immediately start, and by the way, based very much on what we're about to go through, I decide a new public image is necessary. And I go through this exercise. This is what you're getting, by the way. Getting this. I start asking them. As I'm kicking them out the door, before that, on their out briefing, I ask them, what are you proud of the last 12 months of this business? And they tell me, well, everyone loves us. You know, we have some of the best prices. Okay, well, that's subjective. How do you know that? What is it? And as they're telling me, etc., I said, what do they all have in common? Oh, the people have spoken. People have shared that with them. Right? Now, at the top, you're going to notice that I say, if you were to describe yourself using someone successful, etc., how would you describe yourself? Okay. And I'm not going to go into that now, but the whole idea is you want to put yourself in a mindset of not yourself. Okay, how smart you are, just it's a fun little game because of how our brains work. And there you go. If you were an avatar, what opportunities you could create from this? And this is just an example. And then major lessons learned from this. So anywho, as we're doing this, we start playing around with this, and then I ask them, where did you fail? What does this have in common? Yada, yada. And then I get into the next 12 months. What are we excited about? I don't know, of course, it's not that hard to figure out. Well, we're excited about making more money, excited getting out of debt, we're excited of making this place hospitable again, people be happy, etc. And these are exercises that you're going to do as well. Anywho, as I've noticed, people drive the business and people's responses and opinions. So I say, I'm going to borrow that a little bit. And I also noticed, as I'm doing my audit, that Wednesdays we have a special day where you can literally order whatever you want on your pizza. Meat supreme, pepperoni, it doesn't matter. It's the same price and you get 2 of them. So I say, I'm going to put a big sign at the front of the business, and I'm going to tell people that you can help create the menu, and you can help design the place, and you can do this and do that, and you will be rewarded for it, your opinions. Suggestion box, really. And I also go ahead, right, deep dive, because I don't know what I don't know, and I sign up for a cooking class. So while this is happening, we shut down for a little bit. We literally told people, as soon as this box is full, we will open. So I signed up for a cooking class, and while I'm in my cooking class, I meet this really cool guy named Ronaldo. And I don't know if you've ever been to a cooking class. Frankly, I don't know what the hell I was doing in a cooking class. I'm going straight after work and everything, so I'm showing up in a suit and tie. But I meet Ronaldo. Charismatic, yada yada. Oh crap, let's do this. I hire Ronaldo. Pretty much 2 weeks into the class. So Ronaldo joins us, and as we go to open, we take off. Why did we take off? Because we were building up us. And as we're doing that, Ronaldo's very charismatic, frankly, very flirtatious. Very flirtatious. So we're making friends in the neighborhood now. And this was around the summer going into the New Year's. So around the holidays, in the summer we were giving out water, people at the train station. And in the winter we're giving out coffee, hot chocolate. And the leftovers, I found a really good opportunity. I found out that a lot of homeless people were nearby. So Ronaldo's out there. He's giving food to the homeless 2 times a day. And we get hit with a huge ticket, because apparently we're not supposed to do that. But when we get that ticket, the officers felt so bad for us that precinct started buying from us. And since that precinct started buying from us, where I'm going with this is, after a while, we had such an awesome following in the community. Such a great organic trust that was built that very, very quickly we caught the attention of a local business owner and investor at supermarkets. He comes up and buys the company. This was less than a year after I took over. Now, why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because I had never owned a pizzeria. I had gone from suit and tie to cooking class. And I went through the very things that I'm about to get into. And that sort of curiosity has helped me many, many a time. And the thing is that when I walked into that door, sure, their dad had been in business for years, but they and I had the same amount of time. What was the major difference? They were bullshitting themselves. And a lot of people bullshit themselves. And a lot of times, and even if this is you watching it, look, if you're taking it personally, I really want you to understand why. If you're bullshitting yourself, you're going to remain stuck. And that can mean whether you're lying to yourself about your abilities, maybe you're lying to yourself about how much abilities you're sitting on that you're afraid to put out there. The thing is that carpe articulum. Seize the fucking moment. What do you got to lose? Right? Doing what you've done has gotten you this far. Let's level up a little bit. The results are unlimited. So, how does this work? The audit. Now, what is the audit? By the way, again, just a reminder, you're going to get the Breakthrough Starter Kit. A lot of what you're going to be seeing here is based on that kit. So the audit, what you really want to get into, right? You're going to stop bullshitting yourself first. Second of all, you're going to let yourself dream a little bit. You're going to let yourself really just vent, if you want to call it that, on paper. And I'm giving you a safe space to do it. And the annual audit is a very, very good place to start because you never know what you don't know. I went in there wide-eyed, bright-eyed, whatever you want to call it, but I went in there just as experienced as these kids. I don't call them kids because technically they're older than me, but they're kids because the way that they were going about it. And the audit will be comprised of your annual audit and then moving on to your SWOT analysis. Okay? So let's get into that. Excuse me. The analysis. Fun, at least for me. It's not for you, then I'm really, really sorry. But I really want you to remember that garbage in, garbage out. That's why I said don't bullshit yourself. Okay? So, annual audit. You're sitting at home. Maybe you're watching this on your phone. I hope you're not watching this as you're driving. Please pull over. But anyway, as you're watching this, play around with this, dedicate. By the way, this whole exercise can be completely done in an hour. I've tested it myself. I've tested it on other people, and it takes about an hour. So pour yourself a drink, blaze up, whatever you want to do. Sit down and really dedicate some real time to yourself here. I want you to take this seriously, just like you would at a job, just like you would at your business. What are you proud of? The last year, really sit down. Start off with 3. What are you the most proud of? What have you accomplished? What have you been a part of? All right? Then, what have you failed at? And I'm going to play devil's advocate here. If your where I failed at list is not that big, I highly suggest you go out there and carpe articulum. Try some shit out. Look, the more you fail, the better. Because maybe you might not be as scientifically, inclined and enthusiastic as I am. But frankly, on any given week, I'm formulating at the minimum 7 to 10 hypotheses. And I'm consistently failing every week. In essence, a lot of what you're seeing here and what you're hearing from me is essentially 10 years of failing and failing and failing and failing and then succeeding. Okay? And then go for the next 12 months. What am I excited about? So the first 2 of the pizzeria, but let's say you. What am I excited about? Shit. I do want to get out of debt. I do want to make more money. I want to lose weight. I don't know. I want to get a raise. I want to expand, scale, whatever. And then, what am I worried about? You don't have to worry about anyone judging you. Literally, you're doing this on your own, so no one's going to see your answers. What are you worried about? And by the way, if you're worried about failing, that's fine, right? I'm worried about failing at my business venture. I'm worried about failing at this promotion. I'm worried about getting fired. That's fine. Write it down because you're being honest with yourself. Judgment-free zone. Right? And then from there, play scientist with me for a little bit. What do these all have in common? So all the things that I'm proud of, what do they all have in common? Well, here, they all have in common that the people have spoken. People have told me this. Well, what are you most proud of? Maybe you say, you know what? I took more risks. I got the girl. I shot my shot. Um, my IG grew. I don't know. Whatever. What do these all have in common? Right? I took more risks. Or if it took more risks, I don't know. Hell, I faked the funk. I don't know. Again, super just open, right? And then the avatar part, of course, if, however you describe yourself. Hell, if you think you're Beyonce, if you describe yourself, all right, cool. What would Beyonce do with these things that I'm proud of? What would she do? How would she level up? If you see yourself as Elon Musk, what would Elon Musk do with those things? And if you think it's silly, which frankly, that's fine too. Here's why I love that part of the exercise, and I love doing it with anyone that I sit down with. A few years ago, you can Google it, it's verifiable. A little kid is dying of cancer. And 6 months to live, 6 or 8 months, can't remember the exact number. And he starts wearing a Batman costume. Thinking he's Batman, acting as Batman, talking like Batman. Everything is Batman. Fast forward, 2 years later. 2 years later, this kid is okay. Living, thriving. It's part of a parade and everything. That's how our brains work. I actually put up on IG this challenge for the next 24 hours, starting from tonight. I want you to practice only identifying, speaking, and writing of your blessings and things you're grateful for. After that, the day after, go out and take a risk. The thing is that our brains are hardwired to respond immediately to negative feedback and positive feedback. It's just science. And the beautiful thing is that when you are your own cheerleader, in essence, you can do that in so many ways. And by the way, this is one of those ways. And again, you go on to do it for the other ones. What I'm worried about, well, if you think you're Beyonce, and if you're worried about it, what would Beyonce tell you to do? Anywho, moving on. We're going to be getting into the Sarfati Standard, by the way. So the Sarfati Standard is a 3-step guide that I put together on branding, and I use this pretty much with any business, anything I do. It's very important to me because it's shown me the greatest results. And it's also comprised of, about 10 years. So here it is. And if you have it, here's a cool way on how to use it. And if you don't have it, you're about to get it. And we're about to go through it. So career, business, all the same. 3 things that you help a customer, a company, whatever, do. And I actually spelled it out. So for you, I was actually writing it over here. I help my customer, and I actually, I've been working with 2 new companies in the last week, and this is what they said. Keep better books. I help them run their business better. I help them sleep better. And don't worry, you can, change this around. What you help them have. And that exercise looks out like this. We help customers have the ability, the freedom to, and this was the answers, live better, not be tired, just an example. And then become. What do you help them become? We help customers become more blank. What do you help customers become more of? What do you help companies become more of? Some of the answers were happier, healthier, more tax efficient, etc., etc. You get the point. Okay? Let me make sure I'm not forgetting something. Okay. All right. So, now, as we're getting that, we jump into the augmentation, also in the Safari Center. And the augmentation is really fun because if you cannot keep a system on autopilot, if you can't keep your career on autopilot, you're better off than the average career person or business. And frankly, I think you're smart enough to know that if you're no better off than the man or woman to the next and right of you, you're just competing. And frankly, it's fun to compete for some of us, for some others it's not. But what remains true is that the game of business, the game of a career, is based on politics and who has the most money. The whole premise of what we're doing here is to give you an unfair advantage on the politics side, strategy side, so that you can make more money. So then you can then take that money and get yourself more politics and strategy and influence. Excuse me. And now we're about to get into the augmentation side, okay, which will go off here. So if you've never done a SWOT analysis, welcome. If you've done one, welcome. So this SWOT analysis is slightly different. Again, if you've ever seen one, and if you've never seen one, good, you haven't formed bad habits. This one is slightly different, and here's why it's slightly different. One, I'm actually giving you examples of what to write, because many times when I sit with people and I go through this exercise, I'll say, blank, what is your strength? Oh, I'm ambitious. I'm smart. No, that's not what I'm asking. Here's what I'm asking. If I were to acquire your company, if I were to partner with your company, if I were to hire you, what would you be bringing to the table? Well, Catriel, I would be bringing local community resources. I would bring access to industry experts. Hell, I have friends and I basically, you get the point now, right? Then we go into what are your strengths? Well, Catriel, I'm a connector. I am a very good brand ambassador. I'm the guy that knows a guy. Oh, by the way, super creative, and I happen to be told that I'm a great team player. I'm spelling it out for you guys. I don't want you to fail. And now we're going to go into the weaknesses. And this one, again, I often get another answer. And I figured, let me give you examples. Well, okay, frankly, if we were to work together and we were to partner up, I would have to admit a weakness we presently have is branding. A weakness we have is, our communication could use improvement across the board. We have issues in-house. We have some customers that don't even know what we do. We have other customers that expected something and got something else, and it was, frankly, because of our communication. Does that make sense? Now we get into you, right? My weaknesses are, then you would tell me, Catriel, my weaknesses are, you know what, man? I love my company, I'm the CEO, but I'm really not strong in branding. Catriel, I'm kind of unorganized. Or, hey, Catriel, I'm head of sales, and I've got to admit, man, my follow-up is lacking. I really think I can improve that. It's good. So right here, you're not only auditing your process, but you're also auditing your product. That's why this one's a little different. Opportunities, right? Again, spelling it out for you. If I'm acquiring you, if I'm partnering with you, if I'm going to hire you, what are you bringing to the table? Well, Catriel, I'm bringing an awesome network. I have a great distribution network. I have access to notable figures. Matter of fact, I have great brand alignment because I have a friend that works here. I've got a VP of sales over there, and I've got my ex over there. And then, now when it comes to you, right, here is a really cool spin that you might not be used to. I'm not going to ask you, blank, what are your opportunities? No, I'm going to ask you, what are your hobbies? And I'm going to give you a prime example of someone I just talked to. By the way, if he watches this, he might laugh because he knows exactly what I'm talking about. Supplement company. I'm talking to the co-founders, both of them. And one is a nerd. It was like talking to a kindred spirit. Science nerd. In fact, he's the head of science. But his whole thing is that he loves biohacking, right? And this is a supplement company. And one of their specialty products is a sleep product, right? And then the other one, in amazing shape, and he is a fitness junkie. And I call him a fitness junkie because he loves not only staying in shape, being in shape, but also it bleeds into everything he does. High energy, he loves to learn about better ways to keep yourself healthy, fit, living longer, on and on and on. Now, his gym, his research, his lifestyle, that is a hobby. Working out, research, going to trade shows, learning more about this, etc., etc. The scientist, his hobbies include research, going to seminars, going to workshops, being in the community, whether he knew it or not at the time, because he loves to go to science expos, etc., etc., etc. So, if you don't have a hobby, I highly suggest you get one, because not only is it good for your mind, it's amazing for your life, but it does wonders for your network, and it opens up a whole new vertical, i.e., opportunity for your business, your career. Because it's organic, it's not coerced, and I don't know about you, most networking, in air quotes, events are fucking corny. Please stop going to those things, first of all, and please, if you do keep going to them, stop handing your business card out and say, hi, my name's this and I do that. Call me if you need me. They will not call you. Anywho, hobbies are very, very good. Very, very beneficial to you. I cannot stress it enough. And you can start very small. I mean, hell, if you've got questions, shoot me an email. I'll be happy to send you some hobbies that I've tried out myself, that my colleagues are trying. In fact, I actually on Fridays put out a really cool newsletter called 3 Hacks Friday, where I share something that my tribe, and by my tribe, I mean people within my members list, current people taking the challenge, and I share mind hacks, life hacks, business hacks. So happy to share that with you. And then we go into threads, right? Again, I'm about to acquire you. I'm about to partner with you. I'm about to hire you. What should I be worried about? Well, okay, Catrell, our competitors are bigger. Our competitors are in every single store, right? And there are competition because they have a better, faster, stronger team. They have more brand awareness, right? This project could fail or would fail if we don't meet this amount of sales. It would fail if we fail to deliver on time, etc., etc. Those would all be considered threats. And what do you do with those? You look at your opportunities, and then you circle back to your annual audit. And you look at your opportunities, and you look at your strengths, and then you measure them against what you're proud of, what I failed at, what I'm excited about, what I'm worried about. I'm all over the place. Here you go. All that just to come back. And then you go here. Areas I'd love to improve in, because guess what? Now you're essentially giving yourself the augmentation. This is what I'm going to work on immediately. I'm going to work on my marketing. Don't worry about breaking it down. You just need to identify, right? I'm going to work on my organizational skills. I'm going to work on obtaining better tech. I'm going to work on more time management, right? Let me see. Threats. What's another one? Area I'd love to improve in. After looking all of this, and we keep cross-referencing between the annual audit, I want to improve in brand awareness. I don't know, but you get the point, right? I would like to improve in networking. Wow, that's like 3-4 times I've had that problem. Anywho, you got the gist. This right here is very important. And I'm going to go into a little bit more why. I mean, besides the obvious, right? Action items. These now become your action items. Just for shits and giggles. All right, boom. That's all I want to know right now. All right, those are my action items, right? Cool. Now, as we're in the augmentation stage, again, you're going to get a copy of this implementation. Oh, there it is, my bad. Then this is a lot of what I was explaining to you before that I did with the pizzeria. So, using this example right here, I want to work on my marketing, So I'm going to go back here. All right, cool. Do my customers need constant reminders? Yes. Let's just say you say yes. Why do you think that is? Well, frankly, I haven't. Now you're going through what's called the stress test. Yes, my marketing could use a bump because my customers do need constant reminders. Why? Because my marketing has been kind of weak. No. By the way, I put no really just as a thing, but because really, even if you say no, you have to prove it. Because if you have to run a sale in order to get more customers, or if you have to constantly do something in order to get something, I mean, things are not on autopilot. What do all of our unsatisfied customers have in common? Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but it's a lot easier to get a negative review than a good one. You hardly see somebody on Yelp giving just glowing, oh my God, you blew my world. It was amazing. No, you will very, 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 very commonly see someone more likely to give you a negative review. It's just unfortunately how we're wired. And that's why it's very important. Go out there. See what your unsatisfied customers have in common, okay? Because then from there, you can start to look at, again, cross-reference it. Could better marketing solve this? Could better communication solve this? Onward and onward. And of course, now we get into satisfied. And then again, here you go. How often do we talk to them? Every week, every month, every quarter. And if you notice that any of the, let's say you say none of the above, then guess what? You're about to go and put one of those and those in. Pizzeria. Literally what I asked, how often do we show customers a little love? What do you think? Again, if I notice that our hottest item is selling on a Wednesday, just like crazy, I'm going to scale that. I didn't just add another day. I literally said, the whole restaurant, tell me, what do you want? The same way that I said, you get rewarded for, designing your own pie Wednesdays. Cool, design the whole restaurant. Design the menu with me, and you will be rewarded justly. You can do the exact same thing. Again, if you see none of the above, you now know what to do. And really, what you really want to do, right, this is a sweet spot right here. For any of these that you see in this format, every month is a sweet spot. Here you go. How many of our new customers, hear about us from their friends and family? Now, here's why this one is important. If you haven't watched any of my other videos, here it is. Marketers, salespeople are literally at the same level of public trust as a politician. Between 2.1 and 3% trust factor. Where do you think the friends and family stand? They're over 80%. They're right up there with doctors. Okay? I'm pretty sure you've heard of word of mouth marketing. Well, it's not just a gimmick. It's not a fad. It's a very, very real thing. Especially these days with the rise of the bullshit influencer. Again, not all influencers, just the bullshit ones. That's another reason why marketing has taken such a hit, because a lot of people think they know marketing, and then I wouldn't even go into that rant. Anywho, and then how many of our new customers, as I'm saying, again, this is the sweet spot, 50%. If you hit 50% or greater, congratulations, you are on the right path. You can now scale. If you're not, you gotta start. You wanna hit at least 10%, okay, of your customers coming from friends and family, and guess how you do that? I swear to God, if you read this and you ask yourself, wait, how do I do that? I invite you to scroll up. How often do you show them a little love? How often do you talk to them? What do your unsatisfied customers have in common? And what do your satisfied customers have in common? So you take this one and you fix it with better this. All the satisfied ones, you scale that and that and that. Network. Oh man, my throat is really dry. I should probably drink something because I'm talking a lot. Ooh, okay. And of course, you don't even have to ask, what do I do next? How much do we invest back into our customers' goals and dreams? Now, let's be honest. Sure, pizza is big, but I cannot make your goals and dreams come true, or can I? So something that I mentioned before is in terms of the homeless. I got hit with a very big ticket. And I'm not going to lie, things were not doing amazing just yet. So when I got hit with that ticket, I, besides slapping myself in the forehead and thinking, God damn, why didn't I double check if I could do this? I saw an opportunity, and was something that a lot of my family businesses have. It's something called a tzedakah box, and that tzedakah box essentially is a little tin can, and people just put quarters, whatever, and that's for charity. I found that tip jars, which is, I guess, the other equivalent of it, instead of just a tip jar, because it never really amounted to much. Instead, what I said is like, look, when you're here buying pizza, or you order a pizza, you know how like Whole Foods or those places will ask you, hi, would you like to donate $1 to this super corrupt charity so they can give, 30 cents of that dollar to... I'm being an asshole. But anywho, what I told people is, literally, your change, would you like for us to apply that change to buy a homeless person a meal? Okay? And that was my way that I found that I could invest back into my customers' goals and dreams, because it just so happens that in the neighborhood that we were in had a very high concentration of people that gave to charitable donations. Charitable organizations. Anywho, that's how I did that. And then how do we distribute this? Ask yourself how I distributed it. Again, you left your change. I wasn't even asking. I literally just say, if your change is 86 cents, would you like to apply this to buying a homeless person? And that's how we distribute it. And the fun part is that a lot of people would often volunteer. Hey, I want to do it. Where do you give it out? What ties do I have to my community? For me, as you can tell, that was my tie. And then how do I contribute to it? As you see, that was my way, because I would very often throw in extra. So if we raised like $5, I don't know, in a day, I would go ahead and throw in another 5, 10, 15, 20 bucks. Now, this is if you're a company. The same way that we talked about your customers, I really want you to take this part seriously. This applies to your employees. Now, if you're an employee, play along. But if you're a CEO or manager, whatever, I highly suggest you pay attention to this, because your job is to work for your employees. Your employees work for your customer. The better you treat your employees, the better they will treat your customers. Can't outrun it, guys. You just can't. So anywho, as you go along, you'll see, yada, yada, yada. And I actually included a little bit more in terms of how to use this guide, okay? So, quick and painless, as you can see. I literally, it's just the other side on how to use it. Now, getting into the fun part. Quick and painless, as you can see. You can knock it out in an hour. And the proof is in the pudding, man. Some of the people that have used this and taken the challenge, for example, awesome company. This is a guy named Shane, health and wellness entrepreneur. He's doing amazing. He's actually about to hit the scale phase. Someone that I'm working closely with myself, so I can just huge kudos. They're about to be on something really, really awesome. Some of the people that are seeing immediate benefits are also people using some of the free content, like the person on the left. One of the newest enrollees in the challenge on the right, just in the first session alone, jumped in. Holy shit, it's working. Like, by the way, this is amazing to wake up to. I'm not going to lie. On mine, it's amazing. But it's also for you to see, like, this is something that you don't have to just think of pie in the sky stuff. This is actually one of the grittiest guys in the last challenge, Yasu. And he's in a very hard field, man. He's working in finance and wealth, right? I can only imagine the amount of stress that this guy goes through trying to essentially, I don't know about you, but how often do you how often are you excited to sit down with somebody and go over your finances? So kudos to Yasu on that. And I'm so happy to share stuff like this like you, because I'm seeing people actually implementing it, putting it to work. And these are just some of the people that are like, dude, thank you, And that's just the start of it, honestly. One of the reasons that I love putting stuff like this together is, as I said, the last 7 years have been very, very good to me. I've been fortunate to work at Fortune 500s. I have, frankly, in the last 2-3 years, 4 people get to 6 figures per year as entrepreneurs, executives, by the way. That one I'm not, oh man, that one for me has been like a crowning moment, because to take an employee, right? Literally, an employee get into six figures. I mean, not a lot of people could say that, so that alone has been a lot of fun. So, for you, get started. Carpe articulum. Seize the moment. Download your Breakthrough Starter Kit. Reference this video. It's on demand. You can literally pause, rewind, screenshot, whatever you got to do, and get to augmenting. Thank you so much for watching, and I will leave you with this final word, and it's actually the entire mantra of what I love doing, what I love sharing, and that all my success stories have in common. Create. Don't compete. Again, thank you so much for watching. My name is Catriel Sarfati, also known as Nerd Gone Rogue. Remember to feed that curiosity, aim a lot higher, and create. Don't compete.